Okay, folks, getting started back here in the old background. All right, good everybody can hear me. We'll get started in 1 minute. Welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus. We're here for the oil open and the U.S. markets open.
German economy minister says we will
My
decide
name is
after a
Lee
week
Goldstein, the
Easter
trading
holiday on
director
which
for
further
10-minute
measures
trades.
could be
Please remember,
taken for energy relief.
all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay, so there was a report about, I don't know, half an hour ago that Trump is negotiating with a new regime in Iran, and things are going great. And if there's not a deal, we're going to blast their oil refineries, desalination plants, all the civilian targets. So you had, first they said negotiations are great with a new regime. There will probably be a deal. So you had a big pop in the markets and then an immediate drop. Basically, no one believes anything he says anymore, probably. You can't, it's all market manipulation, it seems. No one knows. Um, but that's what caused that burst and drop. And that was about a half hour ago or so. Let me see, I'll give you the time. It was 7:20. 7:20. Great progress has been made. Deal will probably be reached. Will completely obliterate all of Iran's electric generating plants, oil wells, and Karg Island if a deal is not reached. Okay. That's what we got going this morning.
German economy minister says signs of significant slowdown in German economy are already visible.
So I'm looking at oil. This week is a shortened week. Friday is a holiday. It's Good Friday. The markets are closed. And they probably will release the jobs report anyway. Last year, the jobs report was released on Good Friday, and the futures markets are closed. It's one of the only days of the year that the futures markets are closed. Christmas, I believe they're closed. I don't, New Year's, they're closed, I believe. Christmas, New Year's, Good Friday. I can't really think of any other days where they actually close the markets. And they don't have that half day, holiday half day trading. Now, this oil open, this will probably be the last week that I bother with it. That means that we'll probably start our morning rooms, probably start at 9ish, because we don't need more than half an hour to get ready for the open. Trading that oil report has the oil open has not been very profitable at the moment. Um, we'll do some extra testing probably, make sure that we're not missing something on oil. It's going to change. Anything we find on oil is not going to be a long-term setup anyway, because the market is subject to great inconsistency and change because it's so responsive to the news and tweets and comments. I mean, and that's really true
US
of all the
Treasury
markets.
Secretary
It does
Bessent
make
on Iran and oil says
it does
any
make
supply will be helpful. Oil market in a deficit of
trading
12
quite
million
difficult.
barrels a day.
So I'm watching crude. If you look at crude on a longer term chart just to see what it's been doing,
Bessent says
15-minute
unsanctioned
chart,
Russian and Iran oil is on the water.
pretty choppy, which is no surprise. So it opened, yesterday evening,
Bessent
made
says we're
new
seeing
lows,
more and
then
more
new
ships
highs.
go through Hormuz,
It's been as high as
and we're seeing more
103.38,
supply as countries cut deals with Iran.
and currently it's over 100.
Bessent says the US will retake control of the straits.
So just looking, just looking at oil, I'm I've got a bunch of prop accounts that I'm waiting for them to rebill. In other words, I don't want to pay to reset them because they're like 1 or 2 days away from just rebilling. It's less expensive to just let them rebill because they're very inexpensive accounts. So I've got 3 funded accounts that I'm working on, and I've got 2 evals that I have available to work on. So I'll trade the oil open in an eval account that I do care about it, but it's really it's that or my new Lucid eval, and I want to pass the Lucid eval as soon as possible. So I'm not going to trade poorly performing events in my Lucid eval. I'm going to use that on what I think are the better events. So I've got one account, like I said, that I can use for, or an event like the oil market open at 9 o'clock, which has not been very good. Now, look, you don't have to trade it if you don't want to. You don't even have to risk prop account money. There's a lot to be said about trading prop the way you would trade cash and don't create terrible habits. But hardly anyone does that. Most people create terrible trading habits with their prop accounts. And that's a real negative on prop trading, creating very bad trading habits. You know, losing trades on purpose to get a payout, right? That it doesn't promote the best trading habits, but it's something, it's a strategy you have to use. I'm not picking on Nitin, don't get me wrong. He's getting money out of his account. Anyway,
Bessent says we could get hundreds of billions of US dollars recouping fraud money.
So I'm going to put on a reverse continue. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Put a reverse continuation on my oil chart. Let me just explain one thing that I've been doing that I did. With the magnet, I recommend everybody create one generic magnet setup. Now, I can tell you exactly how to set it up, and I'll show you. And then save it in a template. Second, I think I'm going to have one more magnet masterclass. I want to have a one session masterclass, one video, not three. Anyway, so let's say you just want to create a fully button compatible magnet strategy. All right. So when I say fully compatible button strategy, what I mean is set up a magnet so you can trade signals from the magnet software, trade a reverse continue from the magnet software using the buttons. So I'm going to click strategy. I'm going to highlight magnet. All right. And if you want it on high of day, low of day, that's fine. That's a personal choice. For now, my generic magnet is going to be magnet trade enabled off. Proximity is a 3. Custom level is a 0. These are all defaults. Position size 1 is a 1. Target 1 offset is -3. Position size 2 is 0. Target 2 offset -3. Stop is 30. That I changed. All right. Longs and shorts enabled. The sound is default. Everything else is default going all the way down until we get to ARS management. Position size 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 25. Position 2 is a 0. Target 2 doesn't matter because we're only one position. Stop is 30. ARS management is if you trade a signal from the ARS button. Filters I'm leaving off, default. And then reverse continue. Position 1 is a 1. Stop is a 30. Target 1 is 30. Everything else is default. Scrolling down. Choose your account. I would put it on SIM. I would call this generic magnet. All right. And apply, template, save, and then type in generic magnet and give it a date. Okay, today's date, 3/30/26, and save it. Okay, now I already did it, so I have it. So what does that allow you to do? First of all, if you get high of day, low of day, or VWAP signals, and the strategy is on, and you won't see signals unless the strategy is on. When you get a signal, the ARS Enter Now button will turn green and you can press it. And it will manage the trade. It will put on the trade according to the ARS management you use, right? ARS management. It'll be a one position trade with a 25 tick target and a 30 tick stop. And then if you want to do a discretionary reversal continuation trade, that's always enabled. And you just press the reverse long or reverse continue short, and that puts you in a reverse continue trade using the setup that you used inside. Okay? So very simple, but that's a button generic magnet setup. So if you keep that handy, you can always start in the morning by loading your generic magnet and then modify it for the different instruments. You know, if you're trading micros, you're going to have bigger stops, bigger targets probably, maybe more contracts. All right. But that's a generic magnet with all the buttons working. That's how I would start practicing with the magnet. Now, everybody knows I still love putting on an external reverse continue. So let me do that on oil. Click the word strategies, double click news trader, change the trade type to reverse continue. Position 1 is a 1, target 1, 25 ticks, and we'll put a 25 tick stop. Scroll down. Optional, I'm going to remove the show the vertical line on entry is unchecked. Everything else is default except for the label. The label's going to be CL reverse continue. And then choose the account you're trading it on. So if I'm trading oil this morning, I guess I'm going to trade on account number 35. I'm debating, do I want to bother with oil at all with real money? Apply it, okay it, turn it on, and then don't forget to change your chart trader to account number 35 if that's what you're trading. And then if you want to watch signals, you know, keep your magnet turned on. Just because you have a setup on the chart doesn't mean you're going to use it, okay? It doesn't mean you're going to use it. So I'm using a 25 target and I'm using a 30 stop. But that's not etched in stone. You know, if you want to use a 25 stop, that's fine. It's just a discretionary trade. Discretionary trades are not etched in stone what the settings are. Stops should be related to how volatile the market is. If the market is moving absolutely out of control, then you want a bigger stop than 25 or 30. Right now, the market, it's active, but it's not crazy. So I'm keeping a relatively tame stop for this market. And it's a one position scalp. Position 1, one contract, target 25, stop 25 on oil. Then we've been trading the breakout at 9 o'clock, which never has been a good oil trade for years. Honestly, it's not. It just has not been a good setup. So I really am not dying to lose money even in a prop account because my 35 account is actually doing well. It's almost halfway to being funded. So I don't like to waste mediocre to bad trades on a prop account that's doing well. As soon as I get my throwaway accounts back, then I don't mind taking more risk. But I'll do it today because I just want to see. I'll get these new accounts back. One of them will be back on Wednesday. I think another one will be back on Thursday. So our breakout, right click the chart, click strategies. We're going to add another strategy to the chart. So double click news trader. Breakout is there. Now I'm going to load my template for my morning breakout. I haven't loaded it in days. So I'm going to look for the oil load. That's how you bring a template in. I called it oil new open. Nitin, did you trade? You could use Sim. You can use Sim. No problem using Sim if you don't want to take a risk. Oil new open. Nitin, did you trade gold this morning? 8 o'clock. So here's my oil new open. Today is the 30th. I'm going to right click it, rename it March 30th. Load it. I had a one target winner. One target winner with a 25 bracket, I believe. If you had seen the way gold moved before the news, you might not have traded it. It was right, it was very close to the comments Trump made. Gold went crazy before the 8 o'clock open. So our breakout for the oil open, right now the time is on 0, but the correct time is 8:59:59. It's a 9 o'clock open. All right. Right now the bracket is 15. Position 1 is a 1. Position 2 is a 1. That just means you have one contract for each position. Target 1 is 8. Target 2 is 20. The stop is 25. And target 1 stop move, should it hit my first target, I'll move my stop automatically to BE, break even. Frank, I did not get my second target. It reversed instantly on me, and it didn't give me the second target. Trying to think, I think I had a bigger target than you. I think my second target was 30. So that could make the difference. One more time. It's a breakout trade. 8:59:59 is the time. I've got the time set to 0 because I want to check the bracket width. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. That just means we have one contract, two position trade for each position. Target 1 is 8 ticks, target 2 is 20, stop is 25. Target 1 stop move is break even. Should the market hit my first target, it'll move the stop to break even. Then I'll scroll down. It's already labeled CLBRK, breakout open. The account right now is on Sim because I'm going to check my bracket, make sure that my chart trader is on Sim. I'm going to trigger the trade early so we could look at our bracket size in relation to the
Order submitted.
volatility of the market. So a 15 bracket looks very manageable. The market is pretty quiet, really. So I think our bracket is
Order
fine.
canceled.
Turn off the strategy. Right click the chart. Go back to highlight the breakout. Put the time, correct time is 8:59:59, and then everything else stays the same. All right. Everything else stays the same. Target of 8 and 20, stop of 25, break even, target 1 stop move, BE. And then don't forget, put your account on the account you're trading. And then put your chart trader on the account you're trading, or you will not see the orders. And then turn on your strategy on the control panel, control center. On the YM, I'm going to put a magnet on, high of day, low of day, and a reverse continue. So following in what we did, you could start out by loading your generic template, right? Let's do what we said we're going to do. Load generic today's date. And now we have a generic template for the YM, but I'm going to change it to high of day, low of day. All right. Position 1 is a 1. Target 1 is 3 ticks before it gets to the magnet, -3. This morning, it's a Monday. I think we'll trade 2 positions. We'll go for 10 ticks through the magnet on position 2. I'll start with a 40 tick stop on the YM. Then I'm going to scroll down. Everything else is default. Do I want to adjust my management for the YM? If I get signals, I would probably trade with the reverse continue. But if you want to trade with the ARS button, set it up so it's set up for a YM trade. If you want a one position trade, how many ticks do you want for your target? 25, maybe 25 and 50, right? And a stop of 50 and make position 2 a 1. That way you have a 2 position trade, target of 25, target of 50, stop of 50. Scroll down. You can use your reverse continue from inside the magnet should you want to. Configure it for the YM. The stop 40 or 50 is okay. Target 1. Let's just do a scalp. 25 tick target. 40 tick stop. All right. Generic scalp. I'm not going to use it. I'm just showing you. That configures the reverse continue. And then it's not a magnet generic anymore. It's now a YM magnet, so label it such. YM magnet. And choose the account you're trading it in. And I've been trading our YM magnets on either Lucid or our funded account. I think I'll do the YM funded. Apply it and OK it. And I have 3 funded accounts. I'll use my main one, 66, which has been around the longest. So then I turn on the high of day, low of day magnet. And if I need to adjust my orders, I want to see my orders, I can hover over the magnet entry button to see my buys and my sells. So my buy is 89 with a sell at 12. So that's like 23 ticks. That's not bad. I mean, if the market gets up there, it'll probably keep going. Maybe I'll make it a tiny bit bigger. And then on the downside, and we could certainly give up 300 points. It's about a 23 tick profit on the downside. I'm not going to change anything on the downside. I don't think right now we're going down. I think eventually we're going to go down on the day. Right now it's early, so I'm just watching the YM magnets. And I will put a YM reverse continue on my chart as well. Now my generic
And
magnet
Katayama says she's
is my
some
CL
clues on
magnet, so I'm
communicating.
going to relabel that
Katayama speaking Tokyo.
CL magnet. I don't want any confusion when I look at the names of my setups. CL magnet. So on the CL chart, and since we're trading account 35 on the oil chart. We'll put the magnet on that account also. So as you see here,
Katayama says G7 discussed Middle East impact on the market.
oil's really dropping. Not seeing any particular news at the moment. So we're going to put our YM reverse continue on the chart.
Katayama says that we told G7 Japan is watching FX with sense of urgency.
Click News Trader, change the breakout to a reverse continue. Just going to do one position with a 40 tick target, a 50 tick stop. It's a scalp if we use it. And then we'll label it. Go all the way down and label it. Under optional, unchecked vertical line. We're going to get rid of the vertical line.
Katayama says that
Label
we
it
told G7 Japan is
YM,
watching market moves with high
reverse
sense of urgency
continue.
as volatility
And we are
crude
on
oil
our
futures having
funded
impact
account at the
on FX
moment
moves.
for YM. So that's number 66. Make sure your chart trader is on that account. Make sure the chart trader is on 35 on oil. Right now we haven't done anything with the RTY yet. We'll wait till the oil open.
Katayama says crude oil futures moves are rippling through the FX market.
So I have about a minute. Got about a minute until crude opens. All right. Calvin, what's the symbol on that? There's a new gold contract. $25 per tick.
Katayama says the G7 shared the view that Middle East conflict would cause
Why
problems
would
in each
they?
nation's economy and inflation expectations.
Well, I know why.
Seeing the effective Fed fund rate unchanged at 3.64% since 27th of March.
All right, let's see what happens on this oil open. Our brackets will show up.
Order submitted. Order filled.
All right, a very nice trade. It hit both targets right away. So it's been more than a week that we had a good open trade on oil. Okay, so the CL breakout open, I'm removing it. I don't need it anymore. I'm not going to trade a breakout again. Now, is a scalp to the short side a great trade? There's certainly risk because oil is bullish still. It's bearish on the open. Right now, I'm not jumping into any scalps this morning. These are very difficult markets this morning. I'm watching the YM, to decide if I want to turn it automatic for a test of the high. I think oil's going to get to the low. Do you want to take the risk of giving back all your profits? Where would you put your stop? It's a difficult place for the stop. Now, if I had other accounts, I'd be more interested in scalping like a lunatic, right? I'm not going to scalp like a lunatic this morning. RTY, putting a reverse continue on the chart. Click News Trader. Change breakout to reverse continue. Just one position, 35 target, 35 stop. RTY, I'll trade in our Lucid account. RTY, reverse continue. All right. In Lucid,
Germany's
apply it.
SEFI says that they're going to strengthen
Okay it. Make
Europe's
sure the
energy
chart
security with
trader's on
open tender
Lucid.
for LNG deliveries.
Turn on
Also, traders pair Bank of England bets and see
chart trade.
45% chance
Then
of
I'll
a 25
put,
basis point hike in April.
I do think oil's going to go there. What do you
Keep an
think,
eye
folks?
on Germany's 10-year
Don't you
government bond
think
yield,
oil's going to go there?
falling 5.1 basis points to about 3.0474%.
Scalping
And
gold
Italy's 10-year
is
government bond
really
yield
hard, Nid.
down 7.7 basis points to about 3.991%.
I scalped gold
Germany's
on
FTSE
Friday
CFE says tender
using
flows for medium-term
signals,
deliveries
and
into
there
2026.
was a relentless move up that just
Japanese
blew up in an
Katayama says
account
G7
in
finance
about
leaders
half an hour.
and central bank chiefs
It
discuss
didn't
need to
respect a
coordinate to deal with
single
issues
signal.
like
It
private
just
credit woes
never
and
did a good
volatile
pullback.
markets.
It was unbelievable. It happens. You get relentless moves in these markets. A relentless move can really just kill you, especially with gold. Gold, you take a breath, and it's a $300 up and down in half a second. All right, let's get our RTY. So we've got an RTY reverse continuation, and then we have our normal morning RTY range trade strategy, news trader. Turn the breakout into a range trade. And instead of loading the template, I'll go through the whole
Katayama
setup.
says private credit and bond market woes will be among key topics
Scroll
at G7
down to
finance leaders'
range.
April meeting
All
in
right,
Washington.
first go to optional. Uncheck show vertical line. We don't need the vertical line. Range start time 9:25:00.
Katayama says that we're now certain oil price hikes are affecting market and
6
growth.
ticks above the range, 6 ticks below the range. Show the range graphics on the chart. Then go all the way up to the top. Range end 9:30:00. Position 1 is a 1, position 2 is a 1. Target 1 is a 10. Target 2 is a 20. And we've been
Katayama
thinking
says
that
G7
target
agreed that we
2
must avoid
could
situations
probably
where
be a
crude oil
little bit
prices
bigger.
rise and supply concerns
But for
affect
today,
FX
I'm
moves
going
and global economy.
conservative. 10 tick target, 20 tick target, stop 35. Target 1 stop move, BE, break even. If I hit first target, move and stop to break even. Scrolling down, that's the setup. Label it RTY range. Okay. You could call it RTY range open if you wanted to. And then put it on the account that you're trading the RTY. We're trading RTY on our Lucid account. Apply it. Okay it. Make sure chart traders on Lucid. It is. Turn it on the control panel. So make sure your control panel is wide enough so you can see the name of your account. Okay? So you can hover your mouse over the line separating the two categories, and you can hold down your left mouse button and stretch it. Okay? Do that on your name also. And this is why I want to see the name of my account, of the strategy. What if I want to turn off the range right before the market opens? I want to turn it off. If I don't have them labeled, I've got to think which is which. Maybe I'm in a trade. Maybe I'm making money on a trade and I cancel the wrong trade. If it's labeled RTY range, to turn it off, I just simply uncheck it. And in 1 second, less, I can see what's going on. You must label everything. And then when you save a file, always, always put a date in the file name. That way, if you take a couple of days off and you come back and you don't remember a certain setup, you can always load your template and it has a date so you know that you're loading a recent current template. All right? So on our 35 account, it's about halfway to funded.
Fall about 4 to 6 base points on the day across maturities.
Halfway to funded. Don't forget, if you want to see your strategies, you must be on the strategy tab, right? Not on the position tab, not on the account tab, on the strategy tab, right? Now, we're done with oil, all right? Notice our scalp for a test of the low would have failed. It was a 57 tick move. So don't let what looks like it might be a small move influence you in your analysis. Pay very close attention. That was a pretty sizable move that would have tested the low. Not the easiest magnet, right? If you're thinking magnet. Interestingly, we're getting a nice VWAP magnet test. Hasn't done it yet, but looks like it's going to do it. Anyway, turning off oil. I'm done with oil. And we're going to put our MNQ open on that chart. So MNQ 0626. So I'll start out. Now I have a oil reverse continue and an oil magnet. I can adjust them and turn them into MNQ so I don't have to start from scratch. So if I right click, click strategy, and highlight the unchecked strategies, they must be unchecked or I cannot edit them. Starting with the CL magnet, for instance, let's turn this into an MNQ, high of day, low of day magnet. So all I would do is magnet trade enabled, turn it onto high of day, low of day. Proximity is 3. There's no custom levels. Position size, so it's an MNQ. Couple of contracts. And I'm just looking for a 1 position. So as many contracts as you want. The target is -3, and my stop is 100. It's the MNQ. It's a scalp. If I even took it, there's no guarantee I'm even taking it. Everything else is default. Scrolling all the way down. Now you can set up your reverse continue so it's set up inside the magnet. Remember, we had a generic one with only a 30 tick stop. So I do 75 to 100 on my reverse continues, right? 2 to 3 contracts on the MNQ. So just 1 position, 75 tick top, 75 tick stop. And we'll go for 50 target. Label it. It's now an MNQ magnet, right? MNQ magnet. And then what account are we doing the MNQ in? MNQ,
Japan's industry minister Akazawa says G7 confirmed and remains prepared to take all appropriate
can
measures
go in
as
our other
necessary
funded
to
account.
stabilize energy
We have
markets.
another funded account, number 68. I've got 3 funded accounts. So let's try 68 this morning. So that's our magnet. That's a scalp trade. Apply it. I'm not going to do high of day, low of day. I'm going to leave it on off for the MNQ just to watch signals after the open. Apply it. Okay it. You can turn it on whenever you want. All right. MNQ reverse continue. We're going to adjust our oil reverse continue because we had an oil chart on that chart. Now it's MNQ, so we're going to change the reverse continue to an MNQ. It's already reverse continue. We'll do a couple of contracts. We'll do a target of 50, and we'll do a stop of 75. All right? And we'll label it MNQ reverse continue. And we'll make sure we're trading it in our same account, 68. And what else do we need? That's good. Apply it. Okay it. So now we have an MNQ magnet, an MNQ reverse continue, and then we need our main breakout trade. Now, nobody says you can't just trade magnets on the MNQ open if you wanted to, or the NQ open. You absolutely can. But we'll keep going with our breakout today. Right click, click strategies, add another strategy, news trader. Now I'm going to load my template to my MNQ breakout. Template,
More flexible
load,
measures, including more coordinated oil
MNQ new open.
time.
MNQ new open, right click it, rename it today's date. I always update the dates. Today's the 30th. Load it. So it's a breakout trade. The trade normally starts 9:29.59. Right now we're going to leave it on 0 because we're going to look at the brackets, make sure they're not too narrow. Brackets 35. You choose the number of contracts you want to trade. I do 2 positions, a 40 tick target and a 100 tick target at the moment, a 125 stop at the moment. And if it hits my first target, target 1 stop move BE to break even, BE. I'm going to leave it on sim because I'm going to test the bracket. And right now I've got label breakout MNQ open. All right, apply it. Okay it. Spread the chart a little because we want to see how wide the bracket is. When you turn on a trade that has
Order
time
submitted.
set
Order
to 0,
canceled.
make sure you're on sim so you see the orders. When the time is set to 0,
Order submitted.
the brackets will trigger as soon as there's market movement.
Order
it won't wait
canceled.
for time. The time is set to 0. So is a 35 bracket an intelligent choice?
Order submitted.
It looks wide enough that it'll give the market a few seconds to decide what direction it's going to burst on the open.
Order
Sometimes
canceled.
the open will just burst big on one direction. Sometimes it'll chop. You never know. Right click strategy. We're going to go back, highlight the breakout, and now put the time to the correct time, 9:29:59. Everything else stays the same, right? We're just putting the time back to where it's supposed to be. And put your software off of sim onto the account you're trading. We set our funded account, number 68, label it breakout BRKMNQ. One more time, the setup, it's a breakout trade, 929.59 on the activation. The orders go on the chart. Bracket of 35. Target 1 is 40. Target 2 is 100. Target 1 stop move is BE for break even. Stop is 125 ticks.
According to
All right.
CBS News, hundreds of US Special Ops military personnel, including Navy SEALs and Army Rangers, are now in the Middle East, as well as
Choose the
Marines
account that
and
we're
Army
trading on,
paratroopers.
number 68. Apply it. Okay it. Turn on the breakout and then put the chart trader on the chart we're trading. So if we look at all of our setups, you can check that you're trading everything on the right accounts. Breakout MNQ is on 68, and our reversal MNQ and our magnet, they're on 68, and you check your chart trader, it's on 68. You can do the same thing with YM. YM reverse continue is on Lucid 60, it's on funded 66. YM magnet funded 66. Make sure your chart trader funded 66. RTY is on Lucid, starts with an L, so chart trader's in the right place. RTY range in the right place. RTY reverse continue, Lucid, so everything's in the right place. Anyone have any questions? I'm going to put in the chat, our sale is still going on. It's not too late to add time or to buy a year if you're a monthly subscriber. All right? Because prices are truly going up in April. Now, your price never goes up if you keep your account active. But if it becomes inactive, the price will go up. All right? That's the sale link. All right, so we're watching. Markets are pretty quiet, really. They're not that active. I wish my coffee was hot. My coffee's cold. Totally cold. So Nitin said he got burned trading last night. Everybody knows, right? Futures open at 6 p.m. That's another open. Me personally, I don't really like trading that much. I don't like evening trading at all, only because, it's baseball season. I want to watch the Phillies. I want to watch, I need chill time. I don't want to trade 24 hours. But, you have a lot of market opens at 6 p.m. You got all the futures markets reopen. The other thing that I don't enjoy about trading that time of day is because we start all of our indicators at that time of day, I don't ever, it's very hard to get a good sense of trend without waiting for time to pass, right? So that's something that's difficult. All right, we have about 7 minutes to go. So I'll put my YM automatic on. So if the market shoots through the high, now I did forget to do something on my YM magnet, I believe. So I'm turning it off. I'm unchecking YM magnet. I have a 2-position trade on. So I'm going to right click, click strategies, highlight the YM magnet, and if it hits my first target, target 1 stop move, I want to move my stop to break even. If I hit my first target, I don't want to have a losing trade if it turns around and then goes the opposite way. So target 1 stop move under trading, I make it a BE. Apply it, okay it, that makes the change, and now I turn it back on, and now I'll have my protection there. I get
Kazao
so
says
many
Japan's
spam
industrial supply
calls
chain exists in
from the
Southeast
same number.
Asia,
And
and
I
Japan
block this
recognizes that
number all
securing
the
fuel
time.
supplies in the region is of vital importance.
All right. Sorry about that. So I have a crazy phone
US
contract.
Labor Secretary Chavez Darima article on options
It
for
says a
parole
couple of
appears in
things
official
I
Wall Street
don't
Journal.
believe in.
We will pop
I
in the
don't
feed link
believe
for
in
details.
paying a lot for cell phone service. It makes me crazy.
Kazao says,
I
while
don't
giving top priority to
ever
securing
pay
domestic
off
fuel
my
supplies,
phone
we plan to maintain
as part
close
of cell
communication
phone
with these
service
nations.
because then you almost always wind up with a bad deal for the cell phone service. I've never in my life used the major companies for cell service. So, in other words, I've never used, well, I did use T-Mobile when they were inexpensive, but I always use like weird companies to get less expensive cell service because I don't believe I believe cell service is very much, the pricing can be a scam. They're charging as much as they humanly can charge you. But I've been using a company called Tello. Their prices are ridiculous, absurdly cheap. The service is phenomenal because it's T-Mobile. Everybody uses all these cheap services.
Canadian
Almost
dollar
all of them
reaches the
use
weakest level since
T-Mobile's
December
towers
5th against the US
anyway.
dollar.
So what it means is the only thing that could happen is if the networks are super busy, maybe your speed will be slower. I've
Maersk
never
says Port
experienced
of
that ever
Salalah will gradually resume
in like
operations.
years of cell service. But I got a letter, but their service is so cheap. I think they finally realized this service is too cheap. So I got a letter that they're ending the plan I'm on. They're terminating it. But they can probably get sued if they don't let you stay on the plan. So they say you don't have to change your plan, but we highly recommend you change your plan to a more expensive one. And I mean, there's slight changes to the plan. You know, you can get X amount of megabytes of data, or you could get unlimited data. You know the deal. But when I'm telling you, I'm paying like $14 a month for cell service. That's fantastic. Fantastic cell service. Why would you want to pay 50 or 80? And it has a hotspot and it works. I feel the same way about cable TV, which is not cable TV. Cable TV now is the worst scam mess ever in the history of life.
We have posted out on feed for you to read through.
Talk about scam.
So
Cable
Dorima says
TV
no
is a
investment
scam.
is unlawful for
Streaming
retirement
is a
plans.
scam. The whole
And
thing is
Dorima
just a giant
proposes
scam.
private assets in retirement plans.
Okay, watching your RTY range trade, right? Going to turn the YM into auto mode. See if we get some activity. I just typed it in, Arthur. There it is. I think they're going up to 16 or something like that. It's still really a good deal. It's cheaper than Mint. Mint used to be really cheap. Then they sneakily started raising the rate after you were a member for like 3 months. They doubled the rate. And then you know what the biggest scam in the world
One minute
is?
going to the market.
They call it home internet. All the companies have like $50 home internet. It's nothing but cell service. That's all it is. Disguised cell service as slow internet. Now, look, in some areas where there is no other service, you take what you can get. But when you have choices, getting home internet from your phone from like T-Mobile is not as good as Fios certainly, or Comcast, things of that sort. It's typed in, Arthur. It's typed in. Tello. I typed it in.
Order submitted.
Here's our
Order
opens.
submitted. Order filled. Order filled.
Okay, the YM did not go the direction we wanted. Immediate one target winner on the MNQ. Immediate two target winner on the RTY. Immediate winner on the RTY. YM, no magnet yet. I don't know that I'm dying to go long, but we'll watch for a minute. Let me get rid of the trades we don't need. The range trade RTY is done and profitable. Both targets hit instantly. MNQ breakout. One target, then it reversed. That's all right. Not the end of the world. So now we'll just watch a little bit. RTY, just watching. All right. You don't have to scalp if you made money in the morning. You could say, okay, I made some money. I'm done. Now, the YM, it's pretty bullish. I guess I would let it fill if it tries to fill our magnet this morning. It looks like the MNQ wants to go up and test the high. That's always a difficult scalp in the morning. You got the RTY making a low. The YM is not motivated yet to the high side. I'm not jumping in. to anything this morning. I'm just not. I mean, it does look like the MNQ is going to test the high. You can put your magnet high of day on for MNQ. Remember, I didn't have the orders on. You don't need to be quite that close to where we are now. If you fill above 60, it's still about 18 points of profit. I don't think we're getting to the low side at the moment. Okay? At the moment. So YM, we did not have a trade. It just didn't do anything. It was kind of far from the level. Now it could still go up and test the high. NQ is a winner. Okay. People are checking in.
Shares of
NQ is a winner.
aluminum producers jump as aluminum prices hit
RTY was a winner. Yep. We had an RTY winner.
So specifically, Alcoa up 10.8%, Century Aluminum up 18.3%. US stocks extend gains, Dow Jones up 1%.
I guess I'll let the YM fill if it does. It is a funded account. It always, I don't want to ruin that account either, but we have good success with the YM in the morning.
Goldman Sachs
MNQ
Energy achieves
was on
first
our new
energy
funded
production
account.
from
That
three
account
LNG trains.
is just a couple of dollars profit. I think the YM, well, now it's looking like it won't hit the high a day, but it might chop around. Now all three indexes are down, moving down. So I'm going to watch for a few minutes. I don't know. We don't have to go anywhere, right? Nowhere to go.
So just keeping an eye on the S&P 500, just seeing a little bit of a movement towards the downside here at around the open. No headlines to back up the move. And I mean, that's in the last 5 minutes or so. There's nothing that's come through. Again, just a little bit downside movement on the S&P 500 around the
No
open.
news that has come
Dollar
through.
seeing a little bit more strength, but not so much.
No news that's come through that is creating this downward movement at the moment. And we did stream this on YouTube. I'm going to turn off our stream now. I want to thank everybody on YouTube for joining us, all one of you. Thank you for watching. And we'll be streaming tomorrow morning. So see you tomorrow morning. All right. Thank you on YouTube.